community news. All right, so we got some announcements to read today. Announcements. Yeah. Announcements today. Community calendar for April 2014, April 1st. April Fool's Day is tomorrow. So make sure if you are a fool or joked, it's tomorrow. Just as a friendly reminder here at the Silva's Media. We want to give some announcements here because this is both for the community at large who listen to us around in the Mechanicsville and Richmond area. That I want to give you some announcements because this affects not just people living here, but it also affects people that don't live here. Now, we don't always do this, but this month has some announcements in here that could affect all of us. All right, so listen to this. And you might want to bring your friends over if you're retired and you haven't thought about it, but you might want to bring it. Let me read this, and let me shut up and let me read this. All right, this is what it says. It says, please be sure, be advised to mark your calendars on Wednesday, April the 16th. It says, there will be a meeting at 4 p.m. They didn't have 4 p.m., but I'm sure it is 4 p.m. Don't be lining up outside the office in the multi-purpose building at 4 a.m., but at 4 p.m. in the community multi-purpose room, we are celebrating National Healthcare Decision Day. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do the grammar here where they didn't exactly proofread this very well. It says the full agenda is not yet complete at this time, though. But it says, but we will start with a light luncheon, and we'll have some speakers there that will talk all throughout the afternoon. It says, as well as there will be. There will also be some information for you to gather, on different, to have some different items. It says when the healthcare agenda is complete, however, we will send a copy out for everyone's perusal, as well as an RSVP, meaning invitation, to make sure that we have enough attendance and information as well as for who's coming for lunch. Now, moreover on that subject, one of the benefits of this day, this healthcare decision day, is there will be an attorney who will be on hand that will come and talk to you about the very importance of power of attorney. That means, papers as well as wills. Now, power of attorney is where you give a family member or a friend that you entrust, hopefully a cousin or something, a power to make decisions on your behalf when you're not able to make them or where you cannot make them at all. That would be an executor. But if your power of attorney is only when people can come in and make decisions on your behalf when you can't make them. But if you do an executive will, an executive decision, that's where they make them all the time. So you need to know what those terms are, and they'll define what those terms are and more details when this attorney comes on April the 16th to talk about it in more detail. Now, hopefully you don't come for the prizes, but hopefully you come for the information. All right? Now, it says we will also have a local transportation or healthcare provider that also provides transportation among other speakers that will be here in addition. It says between the speakers, there will also be door prizes that will be given out for people to win. So I hope you don't come just for that. But we are welcome. You are welcome to invite family members if you would like, and you are welcome to share this information with others, meaning outside the community. They don't have to be family members. So make sure that you call Nancy at 730-1284 for attendance if you tend to come here and you don't live here and you want to find out about will writing and find out about executive attorney or power attorney. You can find out all that. We want you to come. Now, as a special reminder to those who live here and those who do not, we want you to respect the property when you come to visit. We want you to keep the property looking nice, as a reminder from Nancy. It says that you are not to throw your cigarettes butts on the grounds at all. Okay. It says please deposit your cigarette butts in the designated receptacles as provided, or in your trash can in your unit or in the dumpster. But please make sure the cigarettes are out. Okay, that's important. Please make sure they're out before you throw them away. And then make sure you put them in the appropriate containers where you're supposed to put them, that are outside the laundry room. Not around the laundry room on the grass or outside your unit in the grass. No, you want to make sure you put them in the receptacles that are designated for that purpose. All right? All right? And that's very important that we get into that habit, of doing this, because, the dry days of summer are sure coming. And they'll be here before you know it. And we don't want fires. We don't want to have any, mishaps. We do not want any fires here, basically, is what that is. So it's very important that you, as Nancy says, and all your family guests do the same thing, when it comes to the cigarettes, this matter. This is very important as well. All right, so now we also want to talk about the last thing that brings to our mind here. On here it says, please use the sidewalks. Many people are walking on the grass. Many people are walking across the grass or moving items across the grass. We ask that you use the sidewalks and on the walking, please, instead of preferring to walk on the grass, because what we're trying to do is they're trying to treat the grass around here to get it to look really nice around here, to clean it up so it looks good, because you want good curb appeal. And a lot of studies and surveys show if your property looks good and you have good well grounds without cigarette butts and other objects being in places where they shouldn't be, and your apartments look good, you'll get more people to come in here, which will help the HUD Corporation and help also the place to be able to keep getting an abundance of tenants, because we do have a waiting list, as you know, about 3 to 6 months out before you can actually get into this place, typically. All right, and it could actually be longer. And it says, please use the sidewalks. Okay, I've already read that, didn't I? All right, so please do not put food items or other trash into the dumpsters without it being in a trash liner. A number of you are putting trash bags in the dumpsters without using trash liners. And with the weather getting warm, that stuff's going to stink. And plus, not all of it comes out of dumpsters when the trash dumps. So make sure that if you live in an apartment complex, whether it's here or anywhere, please put your stuff in the trash can. And a bag, not just thrown in there. Okay? Now, if you have, guests that live overnight, you must call the office to inform them about them staying. Also, please let us know if they have a car that's going to be in the parking lot when they stay overnight. Says we don't need any specific license information or any ID, any license information, but what we really are asking you to do is just, provide the vehicle make and model and the color, in case something happens and we need to get a hold of you or contact police authorities or something. We have the event in case it happens at that event, if that does happen. So make sure, please call Nancy, let her know at 730-1284. I've already let Nancy know that next weekend that guest will be over here. I told her that last week. So it tells us here in the calendar, Healthcare Decision Day on April the 16th. And of course, I've already read that. And it has then we got senior scams. I want to read this to you. In case you can't read, you can listen to me and I'll read it to you. It says seniors need to make more telephone purchases than they seem to tend to make more telephone purchases than most people do. Unfortunately, telemarketing fraud is on the rise. It's the most common scam that's perforated, and it's aimed against our seniors. Okay, so it's important to note here, seniors, I love you. That's why I'm telling you this. It's also in your letter that some examples include the following. That means request for donations to take charities. Now, of course, New Hunter Church of Christ here is not a scam. We are a real church and we are a real charity. So, we don't do that. But there are a lot of scams out here, folks. So we want to make sure that you know about them, because they're real scams. They pose as fake charities. And they take money from people like you, and they're not real charitable organizations. Now, how you can check is go to BBB, and also you can find out, which is not in this letter, but I'm going to give you some extra additional information, how to attain and to acquire on a charity. If they have a 503 charitable exempt status, if they have that, Now, some charities don't, but that does not mean it's a red flag, because some don't because they just started, like us. But there are some out there. Most of them do. But if you're just starting, you don't have to have it. You have to get it. I have to get it eventually. But for the charity portion of what we do not have a 503c charter yet. It says there are fake. Now this is something to listen to. Fake accident ploy involving a relative in need of emergency funding, or medical care. Some people post and say that one of your relatives got hurt. Please give us the money. Give me your credit card. And, they'll say stuff like that to get your money as a ploy to get money from you under false pretenses. And we'll warn you, at the Civil Assist Media, we really do care. We want you to know this, the elderly especially, need to listen to this wherever you are, whether you're here at Harbor Square or anywhere in the nation, because this applies all over the nation right now. There's scams going on right now. And we want to let you know also that there's also another popular scam called the pigeon drop. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's basically, there's a con artist that comes into a large sum of money and is willing to split it with you. Now, this is what I call the pwn and own kind of scam, where they say they have all this money, but really they don't. They've robbed your bank accounts. They steal to get the information from you by asking you what your bank information is, which Social Security is. Don't give that out on the phone. Please, seniors, please, I love you. Don't give that information out. Somebody's asked you, we're doing a charity. We need your information so we can update our database. Don't give your information out on the phone. I don't know how to stress that to you. Please don't give your information out on the telephone, no matter what. Somebody asks you, says they're with Microsoft, and they call you out of the blue. That's a scam. Do not believe what you hear. Now, I'm an IT person, and I don't call people out of the blue unless they've called me first. Okay? So that's another thing I do. But do not fall for these scams, folks. Okay? Very important here. It says there are more elaborate scams that are also in circulation that are out there that may also include a third party, who is playing the very role of being a banker or even an attorney, which are under false pretenses. Remember when I said, be aware of these folks, please, for love of you. I love you. I don't want nothing to happen to you. Don't be a victim of these so-called scams, because they are real and they will wipe out your bank account. So do not fall for these scams. Always call the Better Business Bureau at their local number. I don't have it here. I should have had it, but I don't have it. You'll have to look it up in the yellow pages. Or if you have a cell phone, it's good advice, good thing to use. You can actually voice it through Android or iOS or Windows, and just say, I would like the number to the BBB in Mechanicsville, Virginia. And it will just pull it up and give you the number and tell you what it is, and you can just dial it from there right within the web page, search engine. Okay, now, there's artsy eggs. Okay, I want to read this to you. It says, to easily add a creative touch or twist to your dried Easter eggs, ones that you boiled on the stove, or, now. It says put rubber bands, on the outside of them of different, whiffs and colors, on the hard-boiled eggs that you have boiled there. It says when you dip them in the various dyes to get your colors, they'll leave little white stripes where the bands were on the eggs, the rubber bands. And this is lots of fun for kids as well as for family. And you can do this, and it also brightens up the day and gives the kids something to do, and it makes a big family project. So, by doing this, you can definitely do just that. So, with the, design, and the marks, you can put like letters, or you can draw little patterns in there. You can get really creative, use a real creative approach with your hard-boiled eggs this Easter, and make a difference as well to those who see them. All right, so that's basically it for today for the Community News segment. Michael DeSilvas, I'm right here at New Hunter Church of Christ in Harbor Square Apartments, and this is your updates for today, April 1st, just the main ones that stick out. We're not going to read all the ones on the back. You'll have to get somebody to read those to you. I guess I can go through here real quick. Let's go here. Remember, now listen, all deposits of rent are due at the close of business day That's important to understand here, folks, because remember, the 1st is on Tuesday, which is tomorrow. Rent is due April Fool's Day. It's due tomorrow. But I don't think I don't know why it would be due tomorrow, because, you know, a lot of people don't get their checks on the 1st. I don't get mine on the 1st. So, and I don't get paid even when I get regular jobs on the 1st. So I think I'm going to have to call her about that, because I don't know where she thinks that people are going to have the money there on April Fool's Day. Unless it's an April Fool's joke, because usually it's due on the 5th of each month. Also, on the 6th of April, the Sorry Charlie Day, whatever that is. You'll have to find out more about that. Rent is late, if not in box, at 6 a.m. So that's on the 7th, okay? Because remember, the 1st is on Tuesday. So you still do have technically till the 5th to get it in there. So I don't need to call the office, because it basically goes over that. Also 14, Passover begins at sunset, okay? Now, 15th, there's nothing there. Then we have the National Healthcare Initiative on the 16th that we talked about. And then we have on the 23rd, Administrative Professionals Day, whatever that is. Then we have National Jelly Bean Day. I guess we could thank President Reagan for that. It says change air filters in units will happen on that day. So you'll be visited by maintenance, you know, Greg, if you live here. And then, of course, we have the 2 p.m. we have bingo! Woo, bingo! Bingo! And on the 20th, we have Easter. And, of course, you know what happens there. Sunrise services and all that if you go to church and that sort of thing. And also, dinners are planned at some churches that I understand, like the Baptist Church. I can't think of the name, but the one that Kathy Tucker goes to in this building has a dinner that's planned for that day. And also, other churches do, too. Check with your churches. And also on the 29th, that's National Shrimp Scampi Day. That sounds delicious. That sounds delicious, don't it? Somebody bring me some shrimp scampi. I'm just kidding. And that's it for the month of April. And of course, thanks to all of you for putting up with me. And I'll see you again next month with some more announcements. See you later. The National Community News. And I'll shoot you up with another update tomorrow on April Fools, and that's not a joke. See you later.